Yes, you're looking at us and it says live. That means, of course, it's Wednesday at noon Eastern Time. It is time for the High Noon Hemp Show. Of course, you can find us live on video on demand as well. Do that on Facebook. That's the Temptations Beach Facebook page. YouTube, which is better video quality, more than likely, most of the time. Jedi Hemp YouTube channel on there, and at Temptations. If you are a Twitter person, want to do the podcast, you can do that as well. Podbean, Google Play, iHeart Radio apps. Just search the High Noon Hemp Show, and you will find us in some of our glory, not all of our glory. All of our glory is the video show, but the podcast is some of our glory. I am Stoner Jesus. I do various things on the interwebs. You can search out He is Beach high above the Temptations in Sharonville, Ohio, the Hemp Quarters Beach. How are things this week in the world of Temptations?
Good, chugging along, I suppose. Not too much exciting going on in the old world of Temptations locally. It's true, but it's okay. We got. I will have to say, we're always getting these new extracts and whatnot in that are 100% legal, coming from industrial hemp grown 100% legally. So. Why is my phone still ringing? I put it on silent.
Somebody's not watching the show.
Apparently, I just can't even guess.
Outrageous.
How unbelievable.
They've proven they're not watching the show by calling.
That's right.
They rat themselves out.
True. They are admitting a lot right now. Especially this person should know. This person particularly calling right now should actually know. They should be watching. Right. Watch live. And so anyway, not too much crazy going on here, other than obviously when you put your phone on do not disturb, it doesn't listen. My phone's not listening to me. Siri never listens to me either, so it doesn't really matter. I get it. The phone's like, but you can't. You have to be able to. I don't know. Anyway, let's get right on with the High Noon Hemp Show. It's true, I am Beach, trying to not be distracted while I do the High Noon Hemp Show once a week here on all those places. And maybe later you are watching. It's hard to say.
That's right.
One way or another. All right, well, let's get right on to the product spotlight. 4 from the store, 1 from my door. And this week, I got a little more. So it's gonna be fun. I don't know if it's gonna be fun or not, but it's kind of interesting. So what I found. This first one is these are new Enjoy products. Enjoy is legal Delta, I should say, and again, there's a decent amount of what is legal, and so. That's some stuff just hit the shelves last week, and there's a reaction. One being don't drive heavy machinery while using Enjoy products. This next one, and I might have shown it somewhat recently, but I think spring has finally sprung. So if you're going to get out there in the garden and do some work here, and again, this is the selection of top hand gloves that we have in the Sharonville location. So if you plan on getting out there, doing some spring stuff like work soon, get yourself a pair of hemp gloves, and enjoy the nature. That's for sure as you're gardening and whatnot. The next one, I know we think we just packaged some fresh straws up here in Sharonville as well, but here's it's a 2-for-1 on the product spotlight because there's actually 2 different products here. We have the Hemp Straw, which is in the middle, and the Hemp Tinsels, which is on the outside. And I think I showed this back, possibly the same stuff for when we were all celebrating that big Super Bowl, because these are great. And again, now this is good picnic, traveling type stuff. Use hemp plastic, I should say hemp composite everywhere you go to get rid of plastic, which is a big no. Oh man, am I rhyming or what? I'm a poet and I didn't know it.
Freestyle.
No more rhymes and I mean it. Anybody want a peanut? Famous line from The Princess Bride, if you don't know. One of the greatest movies ever made. This last product from the store, or we just got a fresh batch of Wilfred Delta 8 blunts in. Again, super popular, really clean, using organic hemp paper and just really clean ingredients, as well as some really good stuff there. When it comes to the Wilfreds and their blunts, it's true. All right, well, there's 4 from the store. Now, the one from my door is a food product that I just recently found. This is the Happy Campers, and this is gluten-free because we're trying to do gluten-free bread, or just be gluten-free for the most part, for one way or for one reason or another. And this is their Hemp Hooray gluten-free bread against the ancient grains. They have different styles of bread, all kinds of different styles of gluten-free bread. I really like this hemp one. Honestly, gluten-free is tough to get around sometimes, but I'm finding it easier all the time to avoid gluten for one reason or another. Hemp bread is something that I do like. That is for sure. So having an option to use the hemp bread, and I've had other hemp breads before. The first ones we got in, you had to keep frozen for the most part. These you do not have to keep frozen, but it did go bad pretty quickly, which is a sign of a good thing in a bread. Again, I think the longer that your bread sits on your shelf and doesn't go bad, the probably worse that it is for you. There's probably a direct correlation when it comes to the freshness of bread, how long it stays fresh, and how much you should really eat it. That's for sure. And again, a lot of breads go bad pretty quickly, which is, again, a good thing, that they're not filled with preservatives and stuff you don't need and blah, blah, blah. I mean, white bread you don't need anyway. It's nutritionally valueless to the human, from my understanding. At least you get some nutrition here. You can see that the fiber content per serving is actually a little higher than the protein content. So you get 6 grams of fiber per serving, 5 grams of protein per serving. I didn't look to see if that was, I would assume that's 1 piece. That could be 2 pieces, but I did not look at the actual serving size to see how that equates. But it's probably 1 piece, because it doesn't take much to get the protein from hemp, that's for sure. And again, they're using whole seeds, and obviously probably other whole seeds, which are great for fiber, and that's where they're getting all that other fiber from. So found on Amazon. If you shop on Amazon, go to Amazon, and they will ship those to your door. Look at your local good friendly store, I should say. See if they have it on the shelves or in look in the refrigerator, look in the freezer, bread section, look on the shelf for hemp bread, because there's a good chance it could be in any of those sections in the grocery store, if it is at your local grocery store. There you have it. 4 from the store, 1 from my door. Now this week, the more, I was looking into hemp pillows. Now I've shown hemp pillowcases and sheet sets with pillowcases, but never actually hemp pillows. Now this first one that I found is quite interesting, because this hemp pillow is actually made out of bamboo fiber on the outside, which I think is interesting, but it's full of hemp seed. Okay, this is, and I guess millet is one of the other ones that's popular to do this. I know that they will put, they put rice in pillows so you can heat it up and like put it on a certain sore part of your body and whatnot. I'm not sure about heating up the hemp seed. I think that would probably work. But this is just actually, and what I really loved about it is they actually say it's like sleeping on a sandy beach, was the description down below. And so, I thought that was kind of fun. Obviously not cheap in any way. I mean, that's a lot of hemp seed, in my opinion. That's a lot of hemp seed to be filling a pillow with. I'm sure that's one reason why they're so expensive. There's no doubt about it. I would say that if you had the right, like a zip up pillowcase or something, you could obviously just get your own hemp seed and fill it. But again, it would take a lot. You have to buy some bulk hemp seed, like a 50 pound bag of bulk hemp seed to make it work, I think. But and I'm not sure how. Again, if it really stays somewhat fluffy, how that's not heavy as heck. I would just guess in my head that could be 5 to 10 pounds of hemp seed that you'd have to put in that pillow.
Like the pillow fight.
Oh, yeah, right? Yeah. Don't bring a down pillow to a hemp seed pillow fight. That's for sure. You're going down. Down and got nothing on hemp seed if you're going to fight. And so anyway, I thought that was kind of interesting. And this is at a website called Pine Tales, PINETALES.com. This next pillow is it's from a company called Cannabeds, which I'm going to have to look into, but it's on Wayfair's website. Once again, now this is actually hemp fabric on the outside, but again, you can see there's a huge cost. And I think one reason why I'm like showing these pillows, one reason why is to let the market know somebody needs to be making some hemp pillows, either the outsides, the insides, all of them. Somewhat like a weighted, that hemp seed would be kind of, and again, the hemp seed would kind of form to you as well, I think, is why that would be kind of good for resting your head on. Definitely like a weighted blanket possibly, but I'm not sure that would affect you as much as a weighted blanket does. So anyway, this is just your medium support, regular old hemp fabric pillow here from Wayfair or Cannabeds. And it looks like it's a pretty, like a canvas. It'd be a little bit heavier. And so, obviously you're going to spend a lot of money, but it should last once again forever if it's made out of the right weave of fiber. The question is what's inside it, and can it be replaced if you have this pillow for 10 years? Because I would see myself using a hemp pillow obviously for as long as it lasted. And I use hemp pillowcases and they show very little wear no matter what they're made out of, just when it comes to the pillowcase. So it's kind of interesting one way or another. The price is, to me, is just once again absurd, showing that someone needs to just get some hemp fabric and make their own hemp pillows for much cheaper, which I think you can find. Don't get me wrong. On eBay and Etsy, there are some other places where they may be a little bit less expensive. And that's the start of bringing that price down. But we need these big companies to, find some cheaper fiber. I don't want to say cheaper fiber, more inexpensive fiber that does the same job one way or another. And again, the environmentally friendliness, as opposed to cotton or some synthetic fiber for your pillow, the human, you take a cotton pillow or a cotton pillowcase and you lay your head on it, you're laying your head on a product that used more chemicals to be grown than any other plant on the planet. Mm-hmm. To me, that just seems like a ridiculous idea. We wonder why cancer's so high. We're breathing in all this, everybody else, not me, as you know, head to toe in hemp every day, bring in all these cotton products that you just can't be good. They're not good for the air. They're not good for the soil. They're not good for us. They're not good for anything, honestly. It's just not anymore. It's just time to admit to the world that cotton has had its reign and we need to move on to a superior product. Again, that's the funniest thing about it is we're kowtowing to this inferior product that's destroying the world, as opposed to growing a superior product that doesn't require any chemicals to be grown. I don't know. The more I say, I just can't believe after 25 years, I keep saying it, and every time I say it, I'm like, it's just ridiculous. Just if every human would say that out loud, just make the comparison out loud in their heads, they would understand that they're just supporting one industry is so much better for the planet than the other. And again, they've made their billions, and they've on the sweat of slavery and the sweat of the planet, I should say at this point. They've made their money. So cotton industry, give it up. Let's let some other people make some money on a natural fiber that's even better for our planet. Or just start investing in your own and start making billions of dollars on growing hemp and making just the same exact products. It's up to you guys, really. But, I think the more education that we do on the whole process of cotton clothing, period, cotton linens, cotton, anything made out of cotton, has to make a logical move in that right direction. This last pillow is kind of a custom throw pillow. Came across a lot of these. Not as much something you would want to lay your head on, but throw on a chair. Once again, somewhat a little expensive for just a little throw pillow you're gonna throw on your chair. But it is actually kind of cool. Like the design anyway. This is at a website called Diggs Showroom. I'm just talking about hemp fiber compared to cotton fiber, more or less, and how bad cotton is to the planet, as opposed to how good hemp is. That's it. And if hemp is your favorite topic, then you're in the right place, because this is all about hemp. If hemp fiber is your favorite topic, well, then there's more to come in the show on what's going on with hemp fiber in the world, one way or another. These are just the hemp pillows that I found online, just doing a little cursory, more search of some products anybody can go online and find with the right Google searches, or searches using the right words one way or another. So there you have it, folks, on the product spotlight here on the High Noon Hemp Show. 4 from the store, 1 from my door, and a little bit more in the form of pillows.
That's right.
And now,
which of course brings us to, again, not award winning yet. I've been looking into that, what kind of awards we can get for this, because people need to know. I feel like some people just don't know yet that this is the greatest segment in internet history, and they should. They're really missing out. And that's a shame, and I feel bad for them. But I feel great for the people who do know about the very important question I ask Beach every single week, which kicks off our Beachwear segment when I ask, what are you wearing, Beach?
It's true. If you need to know, what are you wearing, Beach? Because every day, like I said, head to toe. Today on the High Noon Hemp Show, I have on my lid here, I'm going a little purple and green, which most of you may or may not know are it's my favorite color combination. That's been the color combination of this store since we opened in 1995. On top there, I've got an eco-conscious hemp hat. My hemp hoodlam hoodie, one of my favorites. Purple is I don't even know if they make this purple anymore, but I love it. I've got an Ono Hemptations University printed here, planted everywhere t-shirt. And what I really like about this font, and you can look later when I come back and look closely, is it's actually got little hemp leaves. So it's white with little hemp leaves all in the font, not the font, but the vinyl there on my chest. We moved down. I've got a Hempy's belt down there holding up my Hemp Inc. button-down jeans. As always, I have my Green Springs Technology pen hanging in my pocket. Usually it's tucked in, but I bring it out so everyone can see what I'm wearing, which is always a pen. Underneath all of it is a classic pair of Headcase boxers. Again, Headcase was huge 20 years ago with what they were doing. I wear a lot of Headcase hats, if you don't know. And then bringing it all together down there, a pair of Hempest socks and a pair of shell toe Adidas. That was probably one of my first pair of Adidas as well. I think my first pair was my black pair. And then it was either this pair or my blue pair that were probably my second pair of hemp Adidas. Now, hi. Now I have an endless amount. I have to count how many pairs of Adidas I have, hemp Adidas I have. But these are definitely some of my oldest and showing a little bit of wear after 20 years of periodically wearing them one way or another. So there you have it, folks. If you are encouraging yourself to wear hemp from head to toe, now you know you can do it. If you with just a little bit of trying, you can do it. All right, so some interesting news this week, that's for sure. If you are in Kentucky, you should get a hold of your legislators today and tell them that you do not support this ban on Delta 8. I think it made it through the first round, or it made it to the voting session. I don't know positively, but one way or another, they are very close to making Delta 8 illegal in Kentucky, which is just a ridiculous idea. It's manufactured in Kentucky. It's bottled in Kentucky. It's grown in Kentucky. Some Adidas are made of hemp. If you search good enough, the Adidas releases maybe 2 to 4 to 6 hemp styles a year, different colors and different hemp shoes. So yes, not all Adidas. Don't get me wrong. You have to search out the ones that are hemp, and they tell you. But if you just search for hemp Adidas, go to Adidas. I think it's Hot Topics. It's either Hot Topics or there's another place that's in the malls normally that tend to have, not Hot Topics. I'm trying to think of where I used to get my hemp Adidas, but you can go to their website online. I would just Google it and see. But yes, hemp. Not all hemp are Adidas. Thank you. They do not make these pants anymore. That's for sure. Hemp Inc. as a clothing company probably hasn't existed for a long time, unfortunately. Especially in a button fly. I haven't seen anybody making button flies, that's for sure. Orvis makes some stuff that's comparable. If you want to go look at Orvis as far as some natural colored hemp jeans and whatnot, check out their stuff for sure. But anyway, Kentuckians, get a hold of your legislators because they're about to make Delta 8 go down. If you're in Tennessee, Virginia, there is a threat to Delta 8, HHC, THC0. It's like now what they're going to do is they're going to make it so CBD, and this is how they're going to have to write it. They're going to have to write all these laws to say that now in that state, only CBD can be extracted from industrial hemp. And they don't have a problem with CBG. You don't ever hear that mentioned. Again, they're just having a problem with these isolates that, again, come with a warning. Don't operate heavy machinery on it. Is it any worse than anything that you can get over the counter? No way. No way. Again, and I could go buy Benadryl or Robitussin and drink a whole bottle of that and get a buzz. That, again, is not something that makes you, I don't know how anybody could get high off of those buzzes just as much as these. Does it affect you? Yes, I think you can feel it. That's the thing with, like I said, CBD and CBG. There are no real side effects that you feel from taking it other than what you don't want to feel is usually gone away. I think with the Delta 8 and the HHC and obviously some of these others, you have a little bit of feeling. And I can tell you this, it's no more, I would venture to say, it's no more of a buzz than nicotine for the first time. Nobody thinks about nicotine getting you high. Well, I can tell you right now, it does. Because after I quit, and then I went back, we were in Amsterdam. And in Amsterdam, when you go and you buy a pre-roll, no matter where you go, or this way it used to be, it was always mixed with tobacco. And I didn't know that. And I'm sitting around, we're I'm enjoying my cannabis in Amsterdam, and all of a sudden I'm like, I don't feel right. I don't. This is a weird buzz, honestly. And then it took me a couple more hits. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm smoking tobacco too. That's what's giving me this weird buzz I don't really like, because I'm smoking tobacco. And so, it is what it is. But there are a lot of states are going after these isolates, um, because and again, just because the rumor says you're getting high, doesn't mean you're getting high that it makes you incapable of being a good human. Although I did just have someone tell me that it did make their dad like loopy stupid. And so again, I don't know what that's all about, because I can't see that, but maybe caffeine high too. If you're not used to caffeine, for sure. Again, there are so many legal over the counter highs, and these Delta 8, and you know what? Once again, prove that it's unsafe for us before you say that we can't have it, because they hate to do that. They just like, oh wait, people are enjoying these. It's doing for them what they wanted to, give them a good night's sleep, making them relaxed, making them feel good. Well, we're not going to allow that. Well, that's just ridiculous. And it's the same with THC Delta 9, in my opinion. There's still very little proof out there that it makes you not be able to function in society. And that's where any drug, any substance is an issue. If you can't go out and function in society with it, well then, yes, there's a problem. We have millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of citizens now readily admitting it. 20 years ago, no one would admit it. There was like millions and millions of people using cannabis in the United States and zero people admitting it. Now we have millions and millions and millions of people using cannabis on a daily basis, admitting it, and then proving that not only does it help them, but it doesn't inhibit their ability to be socially functional, responsible, however you want to say that. Once again, it's job security for all these governments. Because now all of a sudden you got medical and you have recreational in states. You have the industrial hemp thing going on with CBD, and they're slowly running out of things to put their budgets on. All of a sudden, you can't lock up drug dealers if the drug dealer has a retail shop that someone can go through the door and they bought a license to sell it. You can't lock up doctors who prescribe this medicine to patients because it's illegal medicine now. Okay. Okay. all drugs aren't bad. Okay. And so, drug has such a bad connotation, which I don't understand. People are prescribed drugs every day and it's a good thing. But all of a sudden you call marijuana or something natural a drug and it's evil. Once again, the amount of irony involved in the whole drug war to me is it's unhuman. It's inhuman. In all honesty, that they can with one face say this, and when the facts are really here now. And so, yes, I think a lot does that to a lot of people. First off, one way or another, and then of course, 3 out of 4 people are addicted to tobacco after first use. If you don't know, it is the highest addictive substance, natural substance on the planet. 3 out of 4 people are addicted to tobacco after first use.
Yep.
And then there have been an unbelievable amount of course, not really, because it's death by lung cancer, but we know the lung cancer was directly related from smoking. There are no death certificates saying that cannabis was the root of the death. Not one ever has a doctor signed saying cannabis was the root of the death. Anyway, so I will have to say that Georgia, we've at least scored in Georgia There seems to be this rogue district attorney in Georgia named Patsy Austin Gaston, and she is going after Delta 8 without any real laws to back her up. And that being said, the some retailers won a judgment, and this is what I love. It's a restraining order. So this district attorney in Georgia has a restraining order against her that she cannot go near or do anything with any businesses related to industrial hemp, including Delta 8 or all these other substances. So good for the judge to understand what the law really is, because this district attorney obviously didn't. No clue what the law really was as far as federally or the state law on industrial hemp products. I think that once again, this is what usually happens when it comes to things like this. One of her close friends has kids that somehow came home with some Delta 8 products, and they found out about it. All of a sudden, well, you got to go after this stuff. Don't even look into it. You got to go after this stuff. This is bad for the kids, bad for humans. This should not be legal. Blah 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 blah. This can't be legal. Someone told her this can't be legal, and all of a sudden the district attorney's like, "Yeah, you're probably right. It can't be," even though guess what, it is.
Yeah.
Again, the only place that Delta 8, HAC, THCO, THC, Delta 10, any of those, any places where that is illegal, the law had to be changed. Okay, so unless Georgia or the county where this happened changed the laws to make Delta 8 illegal, as long as it is extracted and made from industrial hemp products, it's 100% legal. 100% legal. And this is the court battles that we're going to deal with. You know, again, Kentucky's going to be the next one to get checked, because if they make Delta 8 illegal, there is going to be a class action lawsuit against them, because they, you know, whether that goes anywhere or not, because again, you know, it's very difficult to sue the government, because the government can do whatever they want. Say, hey, we voted on this. Our representatives, your representative voted on this law. It was written as a law, and blah, blah, blah. And they do it every day for this, that, and all the other. I don't care what it is. They go behind their constituents' backs and pass laws every day that are not the best for humans. But it's all in their best interest. Because that's, you know, although a politician is supposed to represent us and its constituents, they very rarely do. Again, I don't know how some rich person that's been pampered all their life, because that's 90% of politicians, lived in a world that does not exist to 90% of the humans, grew up in a world that does not exist for 90% of the humans, and then all of a sudden they're put in charge of what's best for us.
Nope. Frozen Beach? I guess so. First, I thought Beach was just pausing for effect, but now he's frozen. It's very dramatic. It's a very long, dramatic pause. But we'll wait for Beach to come back. And yeah, as far as politicians, not only do politicians, most of them grew up in ways that they're not relatable to regular people, but a lot of them get into politics for the sole purpose of having power and control over people. Kind of sociopathic tendencies, if you will. Not all politicians, but a lot of them. Because let's face it, that's where you get power over people. If that's something you crave, you go into politics. People always say, well, where's all the good people? Why aren't they running for office? Well, because the political office doesn't draw good people. It draws bad people. not to simplify it too much, but that's the way it goes a lot of the time. There are exceptions. Obviously, there's exceptions to everything, especially considering how many politicians there are. Most of them are rich lawyers that want to tell you what to do. And then they all get together and they decide on what they want you to do and make you do it. And some people are surprised when it doesn't turn out well. Well, there's a reason for that. It's not set up to turn out well. If you think that they're listening to you and reading your emails and it's like, oh yeah, my constituents want this, that's what I'm going to do. They're not. They're not all that worried about it. Again, most of them, not all of them.
See
There we
what
go.
happens? You say President Beach once, things get shut down, and that's exactly what would happen. I was like, I don't want to doom myself.
NSA is watching.
That's right, and I'm the kind of politician that gets assassinated. Gets in a horrific car accident or dies skiing, even though I'm a lifelong skier. True facts, folks. Happened to a politician, Sonny Bono.
Yep.
And they did not like Sonny Bono, and because he was a disruption to the status quo. I'm not saying he was killed. It just
NSA was like, cut that hemp guy off. He's talking too much.
That's right. President Beach will never
to cut off his podcast. Because this show getting popular is what will create the groundswell for President Beach, and they got to shut it down now. Nip it in the bud.
Feel free to write me in for anything you'd like to write me in for. Mayor Cincinnati, that'd be a fun write-in. No one would know. But that would be fun. I will admit that. So anyway, but yes. Change it from the inside is the only way to change it, but you can't. You can't. They keep saying that. They keep telling us that like that's our way. Okay, we'll run be the beer station, blah, 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 blah. Try doing that without any money or a real job, like you have a 9-to-5 job that you have to go to. Try running for any type of political party or anything, Anyway, so, we are watching these things in all these states, though, when it comes to all these extracts. And once again, most places are realizing that once they get, just like once the DEA was, you haven't heard anything from the DEA on Delta 8 in over a year because they were the first. They tried to do something first. We said, hey, no, wait. Here's the law. We haven't heard anything from them on any of this other stuff. Okay? These state and local governments should take heed at that. Because if they're staying out of it, that means you should too. Because that's the law. That's the law. The most recent celebrity to be hacked for CBD is Mayim Bialik. I think that's how you say her name. What was the show she was on? She does Jeopardy now, right?
Lately, she was in The Big Bang Theory, but
Big Bang. That's right.
She was Blossom. A lot of people remember Blossom.
That's right. Originally from Blossom.
Yep.
She is, and this is probably the first one that really makes sense because she actually is in commercials about how she actually has a degree in neuroscience. Mm-hmm. And so, as far as a actress personality to hack for your CBD gummy products, she's probably a pretty good one because I know she actually hawks some type of certain neuroscience. Capsules to take, some type of brain, something. Which ironically probably should have CBD in it and doesn't yet. We can only hope that maybe this enlightens her to support CBD in the products that she already endorses. But don't buy the products that are endorsed by her now because it's not her. It's the scammers, which again, to me, I just cannot believe this scam is still going on, but it is. Chances are, if you see again, you can't tell because there's so many celebrities that are actually getting behind, and that's the kind of the genius behind the scam is it's believable because every other celebrity is getting behind some type of CBD product. Yeah. Athletes, actors, actresses, even a little bit of politicians getting into the cannabis game because again they see the money in it one way or another, and so it is an easy scam to believe because there are plenty of big names that are in fact endorsing their own or other CBD products, but not this one, not the and I think it's usually based around gummies, but I don't know. I haven't seen one personally. I can't believe that I haven't seen one of these ads pop up on my Facebook feed or somewhere trying to sell me. Well, I guess you can't do it on Facebook. So I don't even know where these ads, I guess they're just like Google. I don't even know how these ads are even making it out into the internet world because you can't advertise for CBD products on Facebook. Not yet, because they're ignorant as all get out on the subject, just completely ignorant on the subject, and they don't care to be educated. I mean, every time somebody brings it up, or there's a big to do about somebody that can't do something on Facebook because they should be able to, Facebook changes nothing. They don't look into anything. They absolutely do not want anything to do with it. They don't care how much this helps people when it's legitimate, because they're just all about, I don't know what Facebook's all about, making money somehow. But you'd think that they'd want to run ads for legal products, but nope. In fact, you violate their policies. Not only, hey, we're not going to run this ad, but you are in violation of our policies. And the last time they told me I couldn't do something, I challenged it, and I'd never heard anything back. They never got in touch with me like, why do you think this is okay, or anything. I just clicked the button that said, I don't think that you should have done this. But I never heard anything else.
There's nobody home.
And they didn't repost the post, which was a commercial that I made that ran on TV like 5 years ago, when everything was kind of, again, it's just so crazy. There is a Canopy Growth has done a study that shows CBD significantly reduces menstrual related symptoms, and I think I've talked about this a little bit before. Now, what the study did was, and it wasn't a whole lot of women, but it was a 5-day study. They started using either 160 milligrams of CBD daily or 320 milligrams of CBD daily on the onset of their menstrual cycle. And what they found is it did help, obviously, significantly reduced the menstrual related symptoms, and I assume that's both the 160 and the 320. But the 320 daily, which is a decent amount of CBD in a day, don't get me wrong, that higher dose was also effective in reducing irritability and stress over the same period. And so not only does it help with the physical side effects, but the mental side effects that come with the menstrual cycle. And so, all women should look into this. Again, I talked about CBD infused tampons not too long ago. And as crazy as it seems, like illogical, or they're just trying to sell something, because that happens too. They'll put CBD in something that doesn't need it. Here's more proof that maybe it is quite a logical way to fight the side effects of, and again, not trying to stop the menstrual cycle, because unfortunately for women, it is a natural part of the woman's anatomy, is to go through this. And, it's only a man would say this. It's a great thing, because if they don't go through it, we don't have more humans. But it's not a great thing. I've often said, I don't know how women can believe in God. Because just because of the menstrual cycle. And so I do believe that, and again, there is also no doubt in my mind that although there may be a lot of, I don't even know, all natural remedies to help ease with the menstrual cycle are out there right now. Obviously, I'm a man. And I, not that I shouldn't look into it now that CBD is an option, one way or another, but there aren't, I don't think. And I don't know, once again, that, I think that if you can help with the side effects, it's much better than trying to actually just get rid of the menstrual cycle, which, is kind of crazy. But I think that some birth control may do that. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't know how all that works, but I do believe that it is something that if I could help any woman get through the menstrual cycle a little easier, by all means, I would like to do that. and CBD is obviously proving effective for that um, at this point as well, in more than one way. So I think we're going to see more products specifically for that. This just leads me to believe that, we can recommend a hemp oil regimen for women for their menstrual cycles, which means I think really upping probably your dose of CBD that you may take on a normal basis just for the everyday purposes of taking it during that menstrual cycle to help with that. But obviously, there's a number of milligrams of CBD that will and can help with that in all ways. So we will see more of that. I am sure of it. Dockers. Here is a picture of Dockers' new line. Now, this is I think it's a hemp cotton blend that they're still working on. Dockers to me seems like a great clothing company to try to do 100% hemp stuff. Because again, Dockers, I always felt like Dockers originally were like workwear and then became fashionable. Because or nicer, like their Dockers were a style of pants that were nicer than jeans, back in the day as well. But this is huge that they're investing in a whole line of hemp clothing one way or another. I don't think that, I don't know. I'm going to have to go check out prices. I don't know that Dockers are real expensive. I don't know that they're real cheap either. And so, we'll have to see what kind of price range these new Dockers, this new line of Dockers clothing is going to be in. But I assume, and I haven't checked yet, that you can go to hopefully dockers.com and just put in hemp. That's what I always do. No matter where you go to shop for anything. The first thing, I don't care if you're going to shop for brakes for your car online, just put in hemp brakes just to see if they make them. You never know. You never know. But, when I search for anything, it's always for hemp. And you go to your normal clothing website that you like to buy clothing from, just put in hemp in the search and see if they make anything out of hemp first and support that. The more support we see there, again, the more hemp clothing that we'll see, and the better off you will be when you choose it, because it will last you longer, and it's just so much of a better thing to do. Here's a picture. I've showed some other non-alcoholic hemp drinks. Now, this is really interesting, and I'm going to have to do a little more research on this. But this non-alcoholic Pathfinder, it says hemp and root, and it's a bitter herbal amaro derived from hemp. So I don't know if they're like using because alcohol is distilled or made from seeds or grains or flowers or other things, grapes specifically, and so I don't know if they're actually fermenting the hemp seeds to get a non-alcoholic. I don't know if you ferment. I'm not sure how they're what they're coming up with really here, but again, no alcohol, but it is meant to taste like and replicate an alcohol. And we've seen some alcohols actually infused with hemp oil, but actually being made, and there were some hemp beers, that were being made using the hemp seed during some of the brewing. Of course, that has alcohol in it. So this is kind of an interesting one. I think that there is a decent non-alcohol movement out there at this point. And once again, they're trying to replicate the taste of alcohol to convince people that want alcohol to drink this, and then they still like the taste, and they don't have to get drunk. And alcohol's not the best thing. Couple drinks a day, I'm not going to medical studies show that that's not bad, but once you go to like more than a couple a day, then you are going to do irreplaceable damage to your body. Brain, kidneys, liver, everything. So, you know, and again, I truly believe that nothing in moderation can kill you. Just have to find the right moderate amount. I guess I smoked enough cigarettes to say that, I moderately used them, but I haven't smoked a cigarette in 20 years. Be 22 years, except for that little trip in India for 1 week in the middle of my 22 years or so of being tobacco free, did I smoke tobacco. So anyway, Seeger Company hats, I should say, is releasing their new line, and they have all kinds of different trucker style hats. And anyway, this is their hemp hat, their hemp fabric, and this is just one. And again, I haven't gone to their website to see if they have other styles of hemp hats. I love that it's Ramblin' Man. I don't know if that's because of me, because I'm a rambling man. Ramble, ramble, ramble. That is Steve Martin, actually. Because I ramble, ramble, ramble. But Ramblin' Man, Seeger Company hats, using hemp in their newest line, their newest release of hats. So check them out. I'll try to get their website information. It's Seeger, Seager Company. And they have a whole line of different kinds of trucker hats and baseball caps and all that stuff. Here is probably, again, one of the coolest, craziest things to see, this flame-resistant hemp blocks, okay? That's pretty resistant, that's for sure. They survived the entire factory going up in smoke, okay? This was in Australia. It's a company called Hemp Squared, which I love. They make hemp rectangular building blocks, but they're called Hemp Squared. But that's a great name. But the entire building was destroyed from a bushfire that came through. Even the pallets that these blocks were sitting on caught fire and disintegrated, became ash. So like underneath these hemp blocks, there's a fire going on. And if you've ever thrown a pallet onto a fire, they go whoosh. I mean, it flames, and I mean, it's not just a little trickle of fire, man. When they catch fire, they go up because they are mostly untreated. So it's untreated wood. And so to picture this fire burning underneath these blocks, and then the blocks dropping, probably putting the fire out at that point, or there wasn't enough left to burn, and not catching fire, is more testament to the fact that you have a wood product. That's a wood product, if you really think about it, that won't burn, because you're taking the hemp stalk, okay, and you're adding that into what these are like the hempcrete blocks. You can see the ones that were unaffected. I'm not sure. Maybe those are the newest. I don't know why these ones in the back weren't even affected at all. And I think I read that they have a contract. They've gotten money from the government, and they are working on building like 30 to 60 hemp block homes in Australia. Now, I don't know how far this fire is going to set them back when it comes to their original goal there. But once again, you get a big truckload of these and you lay them out, and you got yourself a big house that, I mean, it's insulated, hempcrete. These hemp blocks should be mildew resistant. They don't hold moisture. They're great insulators. So it's just stay cool in the summers and hot in the winters, depending on what your inside room temperatures are, with very little maintenance needed there. Whether it's heat or air. Of course, I don't know about Australia. totally different kind of environments over there, some places for sure. But what a great thing. It's too bad that it had to come to light in such a bad way. But there's more proof. And again, there's videos on YouTube um, that the one video that's been out there forever, posted by a great hemp prover, I should say, educator. Um, I think he burned a fire. I mean, I don't know, 8 hours. I forget how long the video is. That just kept burning and burning and burning, but never burned. Like it just like caused a black circle on the outside of this hempcrete for having a high heat pushed on it for hours and hours and hours. And so, why aren't we using hempcrete in areas where there are a lot of wildfires? Is absurd. And that's, here just proves that if their factory had been built out of this, obviously it wasn't. Their factory would have been built out of this. The news would be factory caused very little damage when bushfire comes through, instead of factory burned to the ground and the only thing that survived were the hemp blocks that the factory makes. And I don't want to, it sounds bad to laugh. I don't want to laugh at their demise. But once again, we can only hope that when they rebuild out of their hemp blocks, and this will never happen to them again, one way or another. So, all right, that's most of the news. I do have an event. I do want to show the pic for this event that's happening in May, because I love this company. I haven't had a chance to get any of their products on the shelves here yet, but I really want to. And this is iHemp, but they are making hemp flying discs, composite. They're producing putter heads, and maybe that putter handle there is also made out of hemp composite. But they're really doing some cool things with hemp composite up in Michigan. And again, this event is not until May, and I'll talk about it more in shows to come as it gets closer. But if you're looking for anything hemp composite, these are the new guys. Some of the new guys, and they've been around for a little while, a year or two now at least. I shouldn't say too new, but they're the real deal, and really making some neat stuff out of their hemp composite plant in Michigan somewhere. And I'm not positive where they are in Michigan. May or may not be close to Lansing. That's where this event is. But I do think that an iHemp Expo in Michigan is probably going to be all kinds of cannabis, but I think a lot of hemp, hopefully as well. So we'll see as it gets closer who they may or may not be coming to. Today starts NOCO, so if you're anywhere around out in Colorado, I would definitely recommend stopping into NOCO in the next day or two, checking out all the great hemp stuff there. You've probably already made your plans, if not, but you never know. You might be sitting around being like, hey, what am I going to do for the next couple of days? I would highly recommend going to NOCO Hemp Expo out there. That's true. Tomorrow night, this is kind of an interesting event, and now I feel like it's in Lexington. It's called Black Hands and Green Fibers. And it's a professor from Center College, and he's speaking on slavery and race in Kentucky's hemp history. And you may or may not know from watching the show in the past how important it is to me when I educate on the history of hemp to mention that a lot of slaves have to grow hemp, and especially in Kentucky, where you have the Henry Clay Estate right in Lexington. He was a huge hemp farmer. He had slaves. And so there is no doubt that at some point or another, slaves were responsible for some hemp fields in Kentucky. And again, that's a part of history we should never forget, and should only try to educate as much as possible. Just because no one should, I mean, that's an atrocity in my opinion. Everyone should believe that, but we can't act like it didn't happen. That's not fair to the people that it happened to. For sure, those people that were enslaved, stories should not be forgotten, because that's kind of, in my opinion, what the racists want us to do. A racist wants you to forget about it, not talk about it, and as someone who feels like they are a supporter of equality in all forms, education is more important to anything, for anything, whether it's hemp or the past. Learning the truth is what we should, and um, it is what it is. And as they say, if you don't learn from it, then we're doomed to repeat it. And if we think it didn't ever existed, then that's almost acting like it's okay for it to happen again. It is not. It is never okay for one human to be enslaved by another human. It's never okay. That's about it for the rest of March. April 20th, 23rd, you got the Asheville Hemp Fest. Asheville loves their hemp, so that would definitely be a great. They love their cannabis, period, I should say. And so that should be a fun event to attend, to go to. April 23rd through the 24th, you have the Pennsylvania Cannabis Festival in Kutztown. And then April 26th and the 27th, you have the Pennsylvania Hemp Summit at the Lancaster County Convention Center. And then again, May 20th through the 21st is that Midwest iHemp Expo in Lansing, Michigan, if you're interested in that. There you have it, folks. Man, went a whole hour today. Good for us. I didn't have any questions necessarily. I think once again, my beach thoughts were clearly placed within the show, because I'm a rambling man. I'm a rambling man. And you get me started on hemp, and I'm a rambling man. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching. If you're watching live, thanks everybody for watching later. If you're watching later, this is the High Noon Hemp Show every Wednesday at high noon. Facebook, Jedi Hemp Channel, YouTube, made into a podcast, all that great stuff. Remember, reduce, reuse, recycle. Make everything else out of hemp. Having temptations.
See you all next week.